Hello and welcome to another episode of Traveling Routesetter. My name is Jakub and I am international competition and commercial routesetter. I'm gonna share with you all the tricks and tips I've learned over my 13-year journey to become a better routesetter. And today I want to talk about topic of coming back to your in quote on regular life and not get too depressed about average I should say regular setting days. Very often, especially at the beginning of your journey, when you had an opportunity to go to set a competition or like to set abroad or set some cool event that takes like a week or so, you might find yourself being down when you're coming back to your commercial days, to days that pay your bills. And I struggle with this still. The friends of mine struggle with that, so it doesn't disappear after years of commercial and competition rule setting. But you build time, but you do have more time to build tools and systems to deal with those low times much better. One of my favorite ways to deal with downtime after coming back from a big route setting trips is to have already in place a plan for next couple of weeks, if that's the time in between another event, or even a year to the next event that you might get at the beginning. What I like to do on the way back, when I'm still fresh from competition, like on a flight or on a train, or if you're driving, just do it when you come back home. You right away make a summary of that event, what went well. It's very important to acknowledge that, and what are the points that in your opinion should be improved. What would be very nice after a day or two of doing that, to reconnect with the team that you've been working with, to ask their opinion. Do they feel in a similar way? And that will give you a bit more accurate feedback on what could be done better. Once you have that in place, you can plan where would you like to be as a route setter or as a climber for the next event. Let's say I'm gonna give you example. Let's say on the competition set for finals, you've tried to set a new move for that category, for that competition, that you personally haven't set in the past, or you've tried to set a move that climbers were not exposed to yet, and move didn't work. So maybe you put that point as your point to improve, and over next weeks you might want to try to translate that specific move to different grades, to symmetrical sides. That's very important, but also to different angles, to actually understand how the angle of the wall changes that specific move. And maybe it's like a jump into a toe hook catch, or like dynamic foot swap, or some type of press. And you will find the differences, and you will explore different small adjustments that you can do for the next competition. And if opportunity comes back on the next competition to set that move again, you will be prepared with those tools that you have learned. And if you think about this, if we take average amount of grades that you can probably start introducing some interesting moves in climbing. I think you can start introducing complex concepts from V3. So you have V3, V4, V5, V6 and V7. Let's tap out there. That's like 5 different boulders. And then we have slab, we have vert, slightly overhang, very overhang, and cave. Why not? So that's 5 angles, 5 grades. 5 times 5 is 25 different approaches to that move that you will take for next time. Another example would be maybe you personally were not happy with your performance on a day, and that could be anything from simply not being able to operate on movement, not being able to operate on physical part of the boulders. Maybe you were like tired or hungry or not hydrated. Those are all the things that you can work towards for next bit. Those are not massive things. Like if you think about it, like it's just a one boulder, it's just making sure that you drink more water, etc., etc. But having those in writing, I recommend big whiteboard in your room, will give you a visual representation of the steps that are in front of you after coming back from this very, very high vibe days. And personally, this works very well for me. I personally like coming back to physical training for competitions because I'm taking a lot of positives from that. But also at that point, I do have opportunities to also try to set new moves in commercial environments. And those actions will not take the down feeling completely, but will definitely reduce it to manageable parts. And with time, you will learn that this is just a moment in your life that feels a little bit lower. I hope this helps. If you want me to answer some specific questions about stuff you struggling in your route setting, and that's regardless physical preparation, that's regardless finding new ways to introduce the movements, motivation, maybe reaching out for opportunities, please contact me. Drop your email, drop a comment under the video, or let's connect on Instagram, Salsa Route Setting. Thank you guys. See you in the next episode.